Oh, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't see you come in, but it's good you're here because we need to have a little bit of a chat. You see, last week when Fallout 2 ended, I said that today we were going to be discussing the future of Fallout on the channel. And that was a little bit of a lie because we're not just going to be discussing Fallout today. We're going to be talking about literally everything. You see, I've been thinking about this a lot, and there are a few things I want to try out to make the channel better, because I have identified the single greatest enemy of many a true nerd, and that is time. You see, for the past few years, my basic strategy has been, let's produce loads of videos all the time. And it's worked pretty well, but we do need to very quickly look at how a video gets made. You see, first I have to sit down and record the game, typically for around 3 hours, though it can very easily go up to 5. 7 of the recent episodes of Stellaris, for example, were about 4.5 hours before they were edited down. And speaking of editing, that comes next in order to turn this into this. And in terms of how long editing takes, typically it's however long the recording is, and then a bit more on top of that, because you have to figure out what stays in, what gets cut out, sometimes you have to redo a bit if it doesn't sound right, what's typically called a pickup. In short, a whole pile of fixing and cleaning happens, stuff that if I'm doing my job right, you won't even realise has happened. After that, the new video needs to get rendered, which ties up the computer for a bit, needs to be uploaded, it needs a title, it needs a description, it needs tags, it needs a thumbnail. Basically, it takes pretty much an entire working day to produce one typical Many a True Nerd video. And this is where time becomes a problem, because that means I'm typically just about keeping up with the rate at which videos are released, assuming I work 7 days a week and never take any vacation whatsoever. Which is 1, probably unhealthy, and 2, and this was the big realisation for me when I sat down and really thought about this, is inadvertently stopping me from making better videos that you guys would probably rather I was making in the first place. Because when I looked over the videos that have been the most successful in the channel's history and the videos that you guys most often request, there's a pretty obvious pattern that starts to emerge immediately, which is those are videos that take longer to put together. Challenge runs, for example, take planning and practice. If you want a video that also acts as a really interesting history lesson, that's going to take some fact-checking and research to make sure what I'm saying is actually correct. And as for video essays, oh my video essays. I do love video essays, and by far the most successful video in the history of the channel, Fallout 3 is Better Than You Think, is indeed a video essay. But they take the most time to put together of everything. So even though there's a whole bunch of video essays I'd love to make, and you'd love to watch, I've been repeatedly putting them off for months now, because the only way I can possibly keep up with the current schedule is to be constantly producing smaller one-off videos. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make this right, ladies and gentlemen. We are gonna find a way to make time to produce the stuff that I want to make and you want to see. So, let's talk about how that's gonna work. First up, Sunday is going to remain Fallout Day, but I want to do some really cool, different stuff there, because there's a bunch of slightly smaller Fallout video essays I've been wanting to make for months, some of these for years at this point, and I am finally going to make them, with the first coming out a week from today, in just 7 days' time, a brand new Fallout video essay. Now, there's a few of these I want to put together, and a video essay every week is just not going to be workable. So we're going to split those up with a handful of fun little Fallout one-offs, and potentially also some features of games with a very close relationship to the Fallout franchise, like Wasteland, for example. But of course, all of this is building to something very special, ladies and gentlemen, which is when we get to the end of this little series of videos I'm planning to put together, the final one will of course be Fallout 4 is better than you think. And once we're done with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's finally time. It is finally happening. Coming soon, Fallout 4, You Only Live Once. So, pretty cool stuff if I do say so myself, and that's just Sunday. That's 1 day of the week. We've barely even got started here, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's talk about strategy games. Right now, we do 2 episodes a week of something vaguely strategy-like. And I think that's working pretty much absolutely fine. People seem to really enjoy those series. We're not throwing out everything here. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The only change here is I'm slightly shifting around the schedule. So from now on, the strategy game double build during the week is going to fall on Monday and Friday. So your next episode of Stellaris, The Impossible Run, and you do not want to miss that one, by the way. That series is about to become a bit of a bloody roller coaster. That is tomorrow on Monday. And on top of that, what I want to start doing now is making 3 big one-off videos every week. On Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And the big focus for me is making sure that every single one of these is something really special. So in other words, less videos that are first looks at brand new releases, and more videos that feel like a bit of an event. Games that I absolutely adore and am personally passionate about. The games that you guys request an awful lot, and big classics from past and present. So, just to give you an idea what this looks like, here's what we've got coming up over the first week, because this schedule is going into effect starting from tomorrow. So, this next week, on Tuesday, I'm bringing back Hitman The Full Story, which was a series a load of people loved. I did this for some of the original Hitman levels some time ago, where you go into a Hitman level and you explore every interaction between all the characters and figure out what the real story is once you've heard literally everything. I have made one of those for the new level, Haven Island, and it is fascinating. I found so much stuff I didn't find on my first few trips around the island. It's really, really damn cool. So that is going to be coming on Tuesday. On Thursday, a classic Nintendo franchise, which has never been featured on the channel before, will be making its first appearance. No spoilers for that one. I like to keep, a little bit of mystique. But you're not going to be wanting to miss that one. And on Saturday, one of the most requested games in the channel's history will finally be making its appearance. Again, no spoilers, but this is one of the most regularly requested games that has ever been suggested to me. So yeah, we have got some special stuff planned for the new schedule. And you might well be thinking right now, wait, John, hang on, what about Wednesday? Well, Wednesday is going to be used to solve another problem that I've got with the channel, which is, unfortunately, we start a lot of games that we don't finish. There's plenty of games I start where I love them, and you love them, but we never actually finish the game because there's simply not enough room in the schedule to start a new series, because a new series is a big commitment, and the schedule up to this point has been very crowded already. So Wednesday is going to be set aside for playing and completing games that have already been featured on the channel. Now, the exact format that should take is something I'm still playing with, but what we're going to start off testing, because all of this is very much just an experiment. I might well modify it as time goes by, but where we're going to start is on Wednesday there's going to be a second live stream, which, because it's on a weekday, is going to start a little bit later, probably about 7 PM UK time. And as I say, that is going to be a live stream that is reserved for finishing games we've already started, where the plan is, just in case you miss it, the video will be released the same day, so you can catch up with it even if you miss the live stream itself. And as for what we're going to do for the very first one, that, ladies and gentlemen, is up to you. In the description of this video, you'll find a link to a straw poll, because I've had a lovely time with Control, and I've had a lovely time with Outer Wilds. So both of them are up for grabs. Feel free to vote if you've got a strong opinion in either direction. Whichever wins will be the very first Wednesday live stream. So that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. We're changing a few things, but I would stress that my guiding ethos for this entire process has basically been take exactly what we do now, but just do it a little bit better. This is all a big experiment, nothing set in stone. Give it a go. Next week, I've got some really fun stuff lined up, so hopefully, after the first week, you'll agree this has been a move in the right direction. So yeah, that's pretty much a lot. I hope this is all good news, because honestly, I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I really think it is the right direction for the channel to go in. Oh yeah, and Crusader Kings 2 is coming back soon.
Claire, show off what the butter packaging does. That's amazing!
25, 50, 100, and then 110
If you need to buy the butter, you just fold the packaging onto the butter and it... that's amazing! That's such a good idea!
See,
How
John
long has butter been doing this?
forever.